Hello, and welcome back to English Podcast with Ziko. I'm your host, Ziko, and as always, I'm joined by the wonderful Sarah.
Hey everyone, great to be here.
Great to have you. So, today we're tackling a topic that is, well, it's something everyone has. We're talking about daily routines.
And it's such a fundamental topic for language learners, right? Because you use this vocabulary literally every day.
Exactly. It's super practical. We're going to break down the language you can use to talk about your morning, your afternoon, and your evening, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep.
Yep, and we'll try to make it sound natural, how people actually talk, not like a textbook.
For sure. So let's just dive right in. Sarah, I have to ask, are you a morning person?
Oh, Zico, no. I am so not a morning person. It's a struggle. The alarm goes off, and I probably hit the snooze button like 3 times minimum. I'm just trying to bargain for 5 more minutes of sleep?
3 times. See, I can't do that. If I hit snooze, I feel even more tired. I'm one of those annoying people who kind of just hops out of bed when the alarm rings. My feet hit the floor and I'm up.
Wow, I can't even imagine. No, for me, it's a slow process. I have to drag myself out of bed, stumble to the kitchen, and the first thing I do before anything else is make coffee. The day doesn't start until I've had coffee.
Right. The magic bean juice. So you're a coffee first person.
Absolutely. And I usually just sit with my coffee for a bit. Maybe scroll through my phone, check some social media, see what happened overnight, just to wake my brain up. I'm not ready for human interaction right away.
That makes sense. You need that buffer time to sort of load up for the day.
A huge buffer time. Then, once I feel slightly more human, I'll, hop in the shower, get dressed. The usual getting ready stuff. My routine there is pretty quick, actually. Maybe 15 minutes total.
Okay, that's efficient.
Yeah, I've got it down to a science. What about you, since you're so energetic in the morning?
Well, I wouldn't say energetic, but I do try to get a head start. I usually wake up around 6:30 and the first thing I do is actually drink a big glass of water. Then I try to get some exercise in.
Exercise in the morning? Before work? I feel tired just thinking about it.
Yeah, just something small like a 20-minute workout at home or a quick jog if the weather's nice. It really helps me wake up, gets the blood flowing. It clears my head before the day even starts.
I get that. My version of clearing my head is just staring at a wall with my coffee.
To each their own. After that, I'll shower and have a proper breakfast. I'm a big breakfast person. Cereal, eggs, the whole deal. I can't function on an empty stomach.
Oh, I always run out of time for a proper breakfast. It's usually just a piece of toast or a banana as I'm running out the door, or, walking to the next room.
Right, the commute. What's your commute like these days?
Well, thankfully, my commute is about 10 steps from the kitchen to my home office. One of the perks of working from home. I don't miss sitting in traffic at all.
Ugh, I'm so jealous. I still have to head into the office a few days a week, so my commute is about a 30-minute train ride. It's not too bad. I usually listen to podcasts, like this one, hopefully.
Of course. So we've already used some great phrases there, like hit the snooze button, which I am an expert at.
And drag yourself out of bed. We also mentioned getting ready, which covers everything like showering, brushing your teeth, doing your hair.
Right, and you said you get a head start on the day? That's a great idiom. It just means starting early to get an advantage.
Exactly. Okay, so we've woken up, we've had our coffee, or in my case, a full 3-course breakfast,
Show off.
and we've made it to our desks. What does a typical workday look like for you?
Okay, so my workday, since I work from home, it requires a lot of self-discipline. The first thing I do is check my emails and my calendar to see what the day looks like. I try to, tackle the most difficult task first.
Ah, the eat the frog method.
Exactly, get the worst part over with. Then I can focus on other things. I usually work in focused blocks. Like, I'll set a timer for 90 minutes and just knuckle down. No distractions, no social media, no nothing.
That's smart. My office environment is a bit more collaborative, which is a nice way of saying there are more interruptions. I'll be in the zone and then someone will pop over to my desk to ask a quick question.
Right, the quick question that's never quick. I can see that. So you have a lot of meetings.
Tons of meetings, especially in the morning, back to back sometimes. Afternoons are usually when I get to do my deep work. I'll put my headphones on, which is the universal sign for please don't talk to me right now, and I'll just power through my to-do list.
Yeah, I have my focus mode set on my phone and computer. So what about lunch? Do you go out or pack a lunch?
I'm a big fan of packing my lunch. Saves money and it's usually healthier. I'll just eat at my desk, or if it's nice, I'll find a bench outside for some fresh air, just to, step away from the screen for a bit.
That's a good habit. I'm terrible. I often just grab something from the fridge and eat while I'm working, a so-called sad desk lunch, but at my own desk at home. I know I should take a real break, but
Yeah, but it's hard to take a proper break sometimes when you feel like you have a million things to do.
totally. And do you ever get that mid-afternoon slump around 2 or 3 p.m. when your energy just crashes and you feel like you could fall asleep at your keyboard?
Oh, absolutely. That's my cue for a second coffee. Or I'll just get up and walk around for a few minutes, stretch a bit. Anything to fight off the sleepiness. Sometimes I just stare out the window for 5 minutes.
Yeah, same here. I might do a few chores around the house, like throw in a load of laundry. It's a weird perk of working from home, but it helps break up the day and makes me feel productive in a different way.
That's actually brilliant. So how do you know when to, stop working? When I'm in the office, 5 o'clock hits and everyone starts to pack up. But at home, it must be easy to just keep going.
It really is. The lines get blurry. I try to be strict and wrap things up around 5:30. I'll close my laptop and that's it. Work is done for the day. It's important to have that separation, otherwise you'd work forever.
Yeah, creating that boundary. For me, the commute home helps with that. Once I leave the office, I'm in home mode. So let's recap some vocab. We mentioned tackle a task.
Yep, and knuckle down, which means to focus and work hard. And you said you power through your list.
Right. And that feeling of sleepiness, the mid-afternoon slump. And when you're done, you wrap things up.
Great words. So we've finished our workday, we're tired. How do you usually spend your evenings, Ziko?
My evenings are all about decompressing. After my commute, the first thing I do is change out of my work clothes into something comfortable. That's like the official signal that the day is over.
I do the exact same thing, even working from home. It's like shedding the work persona.
Exactly. Then it depends on the day. A couple of times a week, I'll go to the gym for an hour to burn off some steam. On other days, I'll just collapse on the sofa for a bit.
Haha, I know that feeling. My evenings usually revolve around food. I love to cook, so I'll put on some music or a podcast and spend some time making dinner. It helps me to wind down.
Oh, that's nice. I'm not a great cook. My dinner routine is often, what can I heat up in the microwave? Or I'll order some takeout.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. After dinner, I'm usually pretty tired. I'll probably just chill out on the couch and binge watch a show on Netflix or something. Just something mindless to, switch my brain off.
Yeah, totally. I do that too. Or I'll read a book. I try to read for at least 30 minutes before bed. It helps me fall asleep way better than looking at a screen.
That's a good tip. I always tell myself I'm going to do that, but then I get sucked into one more episode.
The struggle is real. So when do you usually call it a night?
I try to be in bed by 11. I'll set my alarm for the next day, plug in my phone, and then it's lights out. I need my 8 hours or I am not a pleasant person the next day.
Haha, same here. I'm usually in bed around the same time. I'll scroll for a minute, but then, hit the hay around 11 or so.
So we've got some good evening phrases there. Wind down, chill out, binge watch a show.
And call it a night or hit the hay, which both just mean go to bed. All super common natural phrases. And just like that, we've gone through an entire day from hitting the snooze button to hitting the hay.
Yeah, it's amazing how many little phrases and idioms we use just to talk about our normal everyday lives.
Totally. And for everyone listening, this is such a great way to practice. Try to describe your own daily routine out loud. What's the first thing you do? What's your commute like? How do you wind down?
You could even write it down or record yourself on your phone. The more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll feel.
Absolutely. Well, that is all the time we have for today. We hope you found this episode useful and picked up some new vocabulary.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.
You can find us on all the major podcast platforms and be sure to follow us on social media for more English tips. Just search for English Podcast with Ziko. Until next time.
Take care and keep practicing.